Hey YouTube, so this is Bruce, and I'm going to share a personal story with you guys today about my family. My mother and I had recently emailed each other. Actually, it was this morning, and the background is that my relationship with my family has been very strained since I came out. Uh, excuse me. My brother disowned me. I haven't seen him since, so it's been a couple years. And then the relationship with my parents has become very strained, and I hardly ever hear from them or contact them myself because most of the time when we're together, it's very tense, and it's hard to really enjoy it. Although the last couple of times we hung out, we had a good time, but there's always that big elephant in the room where everyone knows, we both know what's going on. We both know, at least we know that I am in a gay relationship and that we are at odds with that. We have disagreements, and it's very awkward having to deal with that. And so because of that stress and that tension, we do not have a lot of conversations or a lot of time together like other families. So I don't hear from them that often. And I'm talking about my mom, and I hardly ever hear from her, rarely since I came out. It's been very difficult, an emotional journey for her dealing with me coming out. And so that's another reason why we haven't talked to each other that much, because it can become a very hostile conversation. Not necessarily from my end, but more so from hers, where she might say, she's been known to say some hurtful things. And so I wouldn't say hateful, but definitely hurtful. And so because of that, I don't really hear from her that much. Usually, if I hear from her, it would be in an email, and she'll usually be sending me a link to some website for a ministry that either has to do with leaving homosexuality or for people who are struggling with their faith, and which I am doing neither. I've embraced my homosexuality, and I am stronger than ever in my faith. And so those are some of the things that I have dealt with, and when I deal with them, because like I said, I rarely hear from her, but when I do, it's usually about that kind of stuff. And so I recently gotten the courage to confront her about these things in an email letter that I will read to you, and I'll also put down below on the info so you can read it, copy, paste it, and send it to your parents if you need this as help. So here goes nothing. It says, "Hey Mom, I've noticed that whenever I hear from you via email, you usually send me something that has to do with leaving homosexuality. While I know that wasn't exactly the case with the Dangerous Living video that you sent me 2 months ago, I had still gotten the message that you believe I am under deception, as you had told me 2 years ago on Thanksgiving. Parentheses. Mom, I know you're upset about whom I have chosen to spend my life with, and I understand why. However, by sending these subtle messages in those emailed videos, you are attempting to manipulate me into changing my mind. I will not ask you to agree with my marriage to Todd, but I do ask that you respect my right as a grown man to make my own decisions. I love you, and I would like to have a relationship with you. Now that we have both established our beliefs on this subject, I would like for us to be able to move on to talk about other parts of my life. Like the fact that I am finally graduating from college, and I know you would be proud of me. You don't know that I've been still attending church since I moved, or about all of the wonderful friends that I have met in Orlando. I wish you knew, and I wish I could tell you more about what is going on in my life, rather than focusing on the one thing that always makes you upset about me. You would see that my life is not as bad as you think, if you gave me the chance to tell you about it. In fact, my life is better than ever now, and I am excited about my future. I pray this email finds you well. Your firstborn son, Bruce." So it was a very emotional time for me to write that. It took me a lot of days of putting it off to finally get up the courage to say, okay, I'm doing it right now. I'm not going to put it off until later. And one of the things that made me emotional while writing this was writing about the part that says, I wish you knew. I wish you knew about this stuff, because I never thought I would actually say that. I've heard other gay men write about their stories and sharing with their mothers about the mothers that have had an issue, struggled with their son's homosexuality and coming out. And my friends saying like how they want to be able to, they're telling their mothers that they want to be able to share their lives with them and tell them about what's going on. And I haven't been like that. I don't feel like I'm the kind of guy that wants to tell my mother everything. But the reason why I said that was in my letter was because I know that the longer she doesn't know anything about what's going on, the longer she's going to have an inaccurate view of my life. And that she's going to continue, all she has to think about my life are myths and stereotypes about gay men and from the church that are all negative and ugly and horrible, that may or may not be true. And she's thinking that I'm in danger and that not just spiritually but also physically in danger, and I could be on a slippery slope to greater sin and ultimately death and disease and just a horrible life. And I would want her to know that about my life so that she has an accurate view and she's not thinking all these horrible things about me, thinking that they're going on in my life and they're not. I want her to understand what my life is like, also that it's good, it's been going great, and hopefully that will help her if she starts to hear more about what my life is actually like versus what she's heard a homosexual's life is like, then maybe it will challenge her to see things differently, and she'll realize that my life as a gay man and a gay marriage and as a Christian isn't as bad as she thought. And so I'm hoping that it'll lead to some more conversations about me and my life rather than her telling me about what she thinks I'm doing, and how I need to get out of that. And I know she's worried and concerned. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys. She had emailed me back about 20 minutes later, and it was actually very positive, which I was very happy for. It was her saying, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean, I'm not trying to manipulate you. That's not my goal, it's not my intention. I really love you very much, but I'm very disappointed in you. And however, I will stop sending you those emails and that content," which is what I asked for. This is the first time that I really stood up for myself to my mom and asked her to stop doing something, and she actually respected my plea, my request. And being in my 20s, I'm 25 and be 26 pretty soon. But anyway, I've been a child most of my life in their home, and they were the authority, and so for them to defer to me and give me respect was what I was asking for, because I had never had that as a child, and I'm at that point now as an adult where I would like that, and it's a totally different relationship now as opposed to being subordinated in an authoritarian environment and household. So for me to experience this is brand new, and it's a great feeling to feel respected. I also had a similar instance with my father as well earlier in the year, and because every time after I came out, he would always make sure that he said during our phone call that how much he disapproved of my relationship. And I told him, I get it. You don't have to tell me every single time. And he actually relented. And it wasn't so much about me trying to take over my parents or whip them into shape. It was just about just having respect. I mean, I wanted my parents to respect me. I'm a grown man now. So that's, but it was a major step. It was a major milestone, major breakthrough for my mom and in our relationship. And I hope that it continues to grow from there. And our communication, it becomes more positive and less focused on the hard stuff and more just focused on us and having a positive relationship in other parts of my life and her life. So I hope this finds you well. Please comment. Please let me know if this touched you. Please let me know if you used my letter, and let me know what happened. I'd love to hear from you guys. So God bless you guys. Keep watching.